Hello class, we're going to talk about our usability tests that you will be doing for your website. Before you can do a usability test in the usability test world, and the people that you select, okay, for this class, minimum 2, maximum 4. So if all you have is 2, I'm fine with that. If you have 4, that's great. It will not hinder your grade one way or the other if you have 2 over 4. That's just a small number to do a test. So before you do a usability test with these people you select, whoever they may be, your mother, your grandmother, a student, a patron, doesn't matter. And we talked about this in our pre-interview lecture. I want to point out that every usability tester has to give that user a consent form. The user has to look at you have to get permission. And the reason why UX usability testing does that, what if you were doing a test on a website that was on a very sensitive subject and something in a usability test upsets the person? That person that said, yes, I'll do your test, can right then and there say, you know what, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to do this anymore. And that person can get up and leave. And that's it. So usability tests are telling the person, you're not obligated. You can do this. But if any time during the test you don't feel comfortable or whatever it may be, it doesn't even matter. They can stop and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And you're going to say, well, thank you very much for taking the time. And that's the end of that. That protects you, but also protects the person who's doing the test, that they know that they're not obligated in any way. So what I did was I found a nice sample of usability tests through Berkeley University and online. So I took it down, I made minor changes, but it's a very, very basic one. Depending on the complex of your usability test determines what the consent form is like. But this is a test, a practice. So I've added it. Let's see, I have one right here. I'm going to be loading it up onto Blackboard. So not this one here, not this one here. There's a usability test right. It's on my files. Here's usability test consent form. So I have it up there. It's not right now. It's not active. I want to get all my lectures up before I activate everything, so I have everything all together. But anyways, it'll be a doc file. So I'll be opening that up. If you have difficulty with the doc file, let me know, and I'll send it as an RTF or a PDF. PDF, unless you have Adobe Acrobat that allows you to. If you print it out, that should be fine. So what I'll probably do is do a PDF as well, and probably an RTF, have it all up there. But anyways, very basic. You tell right off the bat that the user has to read and sign the consent form. So you can see right here, you will be asked to perform certain tasks on a computer. So if you get somebody who doesn't know computers, or doesn't know even how to where a return key is, and that's important too. So let me just preface this and say, please find users that do use the computer, okay? So if grandma or a great aunt are good with computers, great. But if not, don't use them to do usability tests. You really need people that would be likely to use your website. I mean, you really want that. If you get someone who doesn't know how to use computers, then it's a waste of time for that person, but also a waste of your time. So you tell them they're going to perform a test on a computer. Here's the point where somebody can say, you know what, when I look at a computer screen, I get dizzy, or, I get I'm lightheaded, whatever. Then that person probably shouldn't do the usability test. I'm only saying that because I did a usability test on looking at digital collections versus physical collections. And she was taking medication because she had vertigo. And so she was concerned that she might not be able to do the digital one, depending on what was going on the screen. But she actually said, I may not be able to finish it, but I'd like to try. So she signed it. It turned out it was okay. But that's why I'm saying you got to tell them they're going to be using a computer. A usability test on using a product would have been like, you'll be using X, Y, and Z product for your usability test. So usability tests are used for a number of things, not just computers, but even product design. So you ask them that you're telling them they're going to be performing tasks on a computer, and then you're going to conduct a pre-interview before starting and a post-interview, because that's when you get to ask questions. As you see how they did on your scenario tasks, you can ask questions, and we'll talk about post-interview and how they feel with the website. What do they find challenging? What do they like the most? Things like that. And what would you see on my website that you think would make it better? So that's what a post-interview is all about. Okay, so you do that, and then you say, you'll see the paragraph here, participation usability study is voluntary. So you're telling them right off the bat, it's just voluntary. And you want to make sure that what they're doing it on, so you're saying a website, and place the name of the website and the URL here. So I want your website name and the URL address there. But you're telling them that at any time, if they want to stop or are uncomfortable, that they can, and it's not a big deal. Now, when that happens, let's say that does happen, you have two people and one backs out, or one says in the middle, like, I can't do this. You're going to have to find yourself another one. So you may want to have a backup. If you say, I'm just going to do 2, it's a busy semester, I'm going to do that minimum 2, and that's okay. But have a backup, just in case. When I did usability tests, I'd be looking for 20 people, I had 5 backups. Because invariably something would happen. For you guys in this test, you got 2 at minimum. Find somebody and say, just in case one person doesn't work out, would you be willing to do it for me? It may not happen, but just want to help out. It could be a colleague, so no worries there. So you tell them that they can back out. And if they have any questions after today, they can contact you, put your name there, and email address. So they may call you or email you and say, what again is this usability test? And then you just explain, I'm taking a class, I just designed a website, this is a subject, and I want to see, if it's easy to use and what works, what doesn't work. And then the user says that they read it, they understand it, they date it, and they sign it. And you keep that, okay? So that's going to be part of your, you know what? I want to make sure I'm really clear on this. I want to make sure you did do a consent form, okay? And we do say in the consent form that their names will not be used. So I want to make sure you did a consent form. People can say I did one but didn't do one. I want to make sure you did one. It's very important. When you send it with your usability test, go ahead and black out that person's name, because I'm going to honor their privacy. And just to be sure, in your pre-interview, you ask for their names. These are important to you because you need to be able to contact them if you have to. Let's say you set up a time for them and, oh gosh, you won't be able to make that. So you got to know who you're going to be contacting. But when you do the test, you will never mention their name. So they'll be like user number 1, user number 2. That's it. So I just want to be clear on that. So this is the importance of a consent form. You will be doing that before even beginning the pre-interview. Okay?